So there are certain situations in a family which we don't really understand because we are not in that power to understand that. Like the love of our parents. Have you ever been through a situation where you keep fighting with your parents and you tend to give them a statement that, okay mom, you don't really love me and that is the reason why you're doing all these things. And okay dad, you don't really love me, I can't see your love, where is it? I can't really see it. So there are certain situations like that. Is that a situation why the love is not present or something? No, it is not like that. It is present, but it is in the unmanifested form, which sage Kapila says that there are certain powers in the universe which is in the unmanifested form. Okay, let's just skip that. Let's just welcome to this philosophy which is called as Samkhya Philosophy, which is given by none other than sage Kapila. And he talks about certain powers in the universe which is not really seen through our five senses. What are the five senses? The five senses are eyes, nose, tongue, skin, and ear. Okay, so there are certain powers in the universe which is not really seen to us, but it is actually present, like the protons, electrons, neutrons, which is right there flowing inside the wire, which is right there flowing inside the universe, which is not really seen, but we can see the fan moving and we can see the light glowing, right? Can you see the nucleus? Can you see the mitochondria? Can you see the germs and bacteria which is right there in front of you? No, it is not there in front of you, sorry, right there inside you. We can't really see that, right? But it is present. Of course, when it was discovered, we get to know about that thing, but it is present, but we have not really seen that from our naked eyes, right? So that are those situations which we come across in Samkhya philosophy, and the sage Kapila says that there are certain powers in the universe which is hidden. And if you don't really feel the four requirements, like having a proper vision or having proper sense organ, having a healthy and focused mind, calm and composed mind, and third is having a proper environment and having healthy senses out there. So if you don't really feel up this four requirements, then you are supposed to not get the right knowledge. What is the right knowledge? The right knowledge is about getting understanding of yourself, understanding of Purusha and Prakriti. He furtherly says that if you divide successfully Purusha and Prakriti and actually get to that understanding, and you can't even, there is a situation when people forget themselves. That's when the Purusha and Prakriti happens, okay? So before going to that deep dive into that topic, let me just give you a definition which is given by sage Kapila. He says that, okay, so you can't really see the forces of nature and it is not really seen through your five senses. So what are those powers? It is just the power of energy. It can be the power which is really hidden, which is in the cause form, which is in the Mula Prakriti form, okay? And he also says in the 7th Karika that there are certain obstacles. What are the obstacles? I'll tell to you about that. Like there are certain obstacles in the universe which is right there in front of us and which is there, which is present in ourselves, and because of those obstacles we can't really unlock the potential which is there in the universe and which is there inside us as well. So what are those obstacles? Let's just learn about that. So as you can see in the image here, which is right there in front of you, there are certain obstacles to perception and inference which comes in the way, just like understanding the Mula Prakriti, which is the cause. We can't really see something which is beyond the perception, and because of our understanding which is very low, we can't really understand the nature and its potential, and we can't really unlock the potential which is right there in front of us because we tend to have certain problems, okay? So what is the first obstacle? As you can see in the image, the first obstacle is Ati Durata. The second obstacle is Samipyat. The third obstacle is Indriya Ghatan. The fourth obstacle is Mano Navastat. Namasnatat. The fifth obstacle is Sokshmyat. The sixth obstacle is Vyabandhanat. The seventh obstacle is Abhibhabatat. The eighth obstacle is Saman Abhivar and similarity and confusion. Okay. So this is not just the end of this. We need to get into proper detail in order to understand the obstacle properly, so that it will be beneficial for us in order to understand the knowledge which is right there. So let's just understand the first obstacle. What is the first obstacle? The first obstacle is known as Ati Durata. What is Ati Durata? Ati Durata means excessive distance. Excessive distance is related to the things which is not really visible because they are very far away from our eyes, and maybe very far away from the visible spectrum of light, or maybe the wavelength of light. So can you think of an example? Yes, let me just give you that example. What is that example? You can think of stars, right? It is very far away, but we can't really see the stars. And there are certain situations which are very far away from our place, like let's just think of America. It is very far away from India, but does it exist? Yes, it does. Does star exist? Yes, it does. That means it is very far away and it is an excessive distance, and it makes us believe that it doesn't really exist, but it really exists. Okay. So what about the second obstacle? The second obstacle is known as Ati Samipa. You can see the images right there in front of you. Ati Samipa means excessive proximity. Excessive proximity means objects which are very near, being very close, and it actually distorts our opinion, it actually distorts our perception. That is the eyes. So without the help of proper image or proper mirror, then we can't really see ourselves. Let's just think of it as the eyes. Okay, so if you put a kajal in your eye, then you can really see it. You can't really see it, right? So because it is an excessive proximity from us, it is very close to us. Okay, that's about the second obstacle. What is the third obstacle? The third obstacle is known as Indriya Ghatak. Indriya Ghatak is something which is known as sense impairment. Like for example, there is some internal defect in proper functioning of your sense organ. Like for example, if I am a blind person, if I am a deaf person, I can't really see the world in a proper manner like the healthy person sees the world, right? So let's just now understand about the fourth obstacle. The fourth obstacle is known as manopasthana. That means distracted or absent-mindedness. Means if you have an unstable mind, or if you have a lot of confusion and prejudice in order to understand the external factors, and you have some problem in your concentration, then you can't really focus on something. As I told you like yesterday, that if you have a manipulation in your mind and if you are playing games, then you can't really get the right knowledge. Okay, did you understand this? So now let's just understand about the sixth obstacle and the seventh obstacle and the eighth obstacle. The sixth obstacle is known as obstruction or bhabyadhanat. Bhabyadhanat, which means things which cannot be seen because of the length of distance involved in it. For example, there are certain protocols which is there in bureaucracy, and you have to meet a lot of people in order to get through your point, in order to understand the point. For example, if you see a mirror which is right in front of you, but you can't really see the things which is right behind the mirror. Okay. So let's just understand about the seventh obstacle. The seventh obstacle is known as abhibhabat, which means suppression. For example, if you have kept a fat person in front of a thin person, then you can't really see the thin person, right? And you can't really see stars in the metro cities. So that can be an example of this, which is known as suppression. That is amongst the obstacle which was given by Sage Kapila. Let's just understand about the eighth and the last obstacle. What is the last obstacle? It means saman abhibar. Saman abhibar means intermixture of something. For example, if let's just take an example like this. If you keep a glass of water in a glass, and if you put that glass into a bucket, okay, so the glass, so now you can't really see the water which was there in the glass, and you're mixing that water into a bucket of water. You can't really see that, right? So can you see the subtleties of human nature here? It is so vast. I hope you're blessed with such a great body and mind, and of course your five senses are working to be perfect. There are some people who don't really get that knowledge which you really have. And let me just tell you one simple thing. Let me just tell you a quote which was given by Swami Vivekananda, that education is always a manifestation which is present right there in front of you, which is not really seen and which is not really brought out to you, but it depends on you how you bring it out. Thank you very much. I hope you love this video, and I want you all to subscribe to my channel in order to get this informative content again and again. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself.